Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Hudson Lawn Care YouTube channel. This is going to be my first vlog of the year, I suppose, as this is going to be the first day of the season for me. I'm going to go out and work on some spring cleanups. Probably just one for today since I'm a solo guy. But I'm going to take you guys along for the ride. I've got my camera equipment and a compressor there. And I got my trailer with me, so I'm heading over to the shop to get loaded up. I'm going to probably bring the Ferris with me today and the bagger and some blowers and stuff like that. And I've got to get some fuel for the beginning of the year. But besides that, I'm going to take you guys along for the ride and hopefully show some different camera angles. But yeah, I'm going to try to keep up with some vlogs this year and do something different, and instead of just all no commentary mowing videos. So you guys will have to let me know in the comments, I want some no commentary mowing, or I want some, vlog style videos. So I'll try to keep you guys updated throughout my week. So, all right, I'll see you guys when we get to the shop. Alright, as you can kind of see in the mirror, we're loaded up. I'm super behind schedule now, and that is because you all probably know the snapper. I couldn't get it to start. I wasn't taking it today, I just needed to move it out of my way. And the dealer put a new carburetor on that mower, and I guess because of that, it led to me having some starting issues today, it seems, from where I got a chance to break it in maybe. So it seems like something's not necessarily tight or adjusted, so I'll have to look into that. I barely got it started enough to get it out of the way, but I'm not really worried about that because it's not my main mower. But I do know if it goes back to the dealer, I'm not paying for it. So we're off to the job now, and yeah, hopefully we'll get this done in a reasonable amount of time. Alright, this is the yard. It's out here on the golf course. Probably won't show the front too much. It's just leaves, sticks, beds need cleaned out. Everything was trimmed by me in the fall, so they're looking alright. The pampas grass looks good. So I will probably do the leaf cleanup and then start recording when it's time to do the leaves with the mower. Alright, picked up a bunch of sticks down in there. I crushed them with my foot, cleaned up some pampas, and got the leaves over there. So we're gonna get that cleaned up with the mower. I'll probably switch you guys over to the GoPro. Alright, and away we go. So this is at ×2 speed. I really don't want to speed it up any faster and make anybody really motion sick or give anybody motion sickness, but I figured I'd do some commentary over the footage. I know that's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Like I said earlier in the video, please let me know what kind of content you all are looking for, and I will do my best to deliver a decent balance. But I really don't mind doing the commentary. It's kind of enjoyable, honestly, because sometimes in the moment you're so scatterbrained that when you listen to the video back, it just doesn't make sense. But anyways, as you can see, I am making my first couple laps around the front lawn and trying to get things grounded up the best I can without sending it into the street or the flower bed. So first things first, why don't I have a chute blocker? Why am I not using the chute on the mower? This is an older mower. I'm pretty sure it's like an 02 or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's a DD SKA V17, I believe. So I have a more detailed video on it on my channel. Anywho, I just don't think it's worth it, honestly, right now. But I may may consider doing a grass flap, but I don't know. I don't know if that's going to mess with the mount that I have for the bagger or not, but honestly, you know, some people are going to tell me I'm doing it all wrong, but it's my business, so I'm going to do what I think is best. I'm very familiar with the grass flaps. I've used them for, I think, 4 years at my previous job, and I love them. I just don't want to put a $400 chute blocker on a like 20-something-year-old mower. It just doesn't seem practical to me. So I'm making do with what I have. I'm not sending it into anybody's beds, and maybe just a little bit in the neighbors' beds, but you know, everything got blown off. I think I did 3 laps with the blower, and that's not including the original first part of the cleanup where I was blowing everything out. So anyways, the process was blow the beds and bushes and patios out first, get them just out of the beds and into the grass, and kind of loosen up some of the thicker areas of leaves so that they'll get sucked up by the mower. And then I went around and picked up sticks and some of the excess pampas from where, you know, I chopped that pampas down. It was, you know, pampas, you know, everybody calls it different things. Some people just call it ornamental grass, but I cut it down. It was insanely overgrown. The lawn company taking care of this before me just wasn't doing it, or just let it go too long. So it was a mess. I cleaned as much out of it as I could, and over the winter it seems some more bits and pieces broke off. You know how it is if you've cut one down before. So I cleaned all the excess up, and yeah, we are grinding this up with the mower before it goes into the bagger. I realized very quickly I have the grass gobbler. That's what my dealer carried, so they slapped that on my mower. Cool. I like it, honestly. It works really well for this type of mower, and it seems that it's cheaper than the accelerator bagger, but my dealer just doesn't carry the accelerator bagger, so that's why I have a grass gobbler. Anyways, it works great for me, and I just realized generally I noticed that it will hold stuff better if it's mulched up. I've tried both ways, and after using this for like half a year, using the bagger, I kind of just figured out, you know, this works best. A lot of people would be like, no, don't mulch it up, don't do this, don't do that, but you know, it worked fine, and it did a great job. There wasn't very many grass clippings or anything left behind. I was cutting off a chunk of grass, not even an inch, not even maybe half an inch, but it was pretty shaggy. This is a fertilized and treated yard. It will be very green and very thick very soon, so I will have to keep that in mind, because this will be a good one for videos, and definitely one of the nicer small yards that I have, and I really enjoy mowing it, even though I haven't properly mowed it. But I've enjoyed doing a fall cleanup and a spring cleanup, and my customer is very happy, which makes me happy. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy this chest cam footage. It's definitely not the best thing ever. I do want to do the head cam. I just don't have I have the strap. I'd rather put it on a hat than my head directly. So yeah, let me grab my grass gobbler here, and yeah, we'll get set up for some bagging. Alright, so here we are, just going ahead and blowing everything off after chopping and grounding things up, and they get, you know, things scatter everywhere, especially without a chute blocker. Things scatter even with a chute blocker, but here I'll get it out of the crevice, you know, at the edge right there along the street, so that I can eventually get to edging it. And honestly, I like to just do multiple rounds with the blower just to make sure things are getting out and getting grounded up constantly. And it's most important because I'm getting ready to go over the yard with the bagger, so suck everything up really good, and honestly just get to a final stage here where, you know, after everything's been bagged up, we can kind of put the finishing touches. And I found a leaf there, so I figured I'd pitch that out into the yard. You know, I tried to pick the bigger leaves out of the rocks, but no matter what, if you do a spring cleanup, a fall cleanup, it's almost never going to be perfect, especially when you have rocks. So just keep that in mind. So here we are. I haven't had a chance to show off the bagger, I think, on the channel. So that's what the grass gobbler looks like, all hooked up on a Ferris. Kind of weird. I know it's kind of unusual, but I have used the was it the Ballard bagger or something? I can't remember. I used a metal bagger that was not like this. It was way worse, and it was old. The company I previously worked for didn't like it. Dragged on the ground really, really bad. But I've also used the cloth baggers, which I believe are from Ferris, and they're more forgiving, but they're not perfect. I think the grass gobbler is okay. I don't think any walk behind bagger is really perfect, so I really enjoy using this one because I haven't had any issues. It's insanely durable as well. You know, mishaps are going to happen. You can see I keep popping a wheelie over that metal pipe or whatever sticking out of the ground there, kind of like a water main. But yeah, I'm going around the water main over here too anyways, but you can see lots of dust. I'm not wearing my face mask like I normally would. I usually wear an M95 mask to try to keep my passages clean and stuff. You know, you don't want to get all puffy and stuff while you're trying to do work. But you can see it's putting off a little dust, and honestly, it's collecting things really well. The 17 horsepower motor on the Ferris just does a really good job. It's just enough to where, yeah, I don't feel like I have to go over spots more than once unless there's just a crap ton of leaves, but it's giving me no issue. So do I recommend the grass gobbler? Sure. I haven't tried the leaf gobbler, which is an add-on that you can attach to the rear. I feel like it would be too bulky for what I'm doing, so for now the plan is when I decide to upgrade to a brand new mower within a year or two, I'm keeping this mower and probably going to run it into the ground. And by that I mean I'm going to have it until it eventually dies. I'm still going to take care of it because it's a really good mower. But this one's set up for bagging, and I don't really intend to set a new mower up for bagging if I have this one, not until I have to at least. So yeah, as you can see, things are finally starting to look full, but looks are deceiving. When I get it off there, still lots of room, but I have the wrong size trash bags because I could not find the correct size for my trash can here. So you'll see I try to kind of scoop it out by hand, and it's not going well, so I just kind of Hail Mary dump it in there, and what can I say, I tried my best. Anyways, I like that it unlatches easy. You slide the door off, you dump the bagger. It's super straightforward. I hate how complicated some other baggers can be. They try to be super secure and this and that, but you know, then you just kind of lose your efficiency. There, we're back in business. So yeah, honestly, it did a really good job. But besides that, let's talk about where I'm working at. So I'm out here on a golf course, which is very massive. I mean, you can see it goes on as far as the eye can see. There's houses all along the different sides of the golf course as well, and most of them have little tiny yards like this, so you could have a really good gig if you got into one of these neighborhoods and you know somebody, or somebody can hook you up, and yeah, you never know what's going to happen. But these are super small and they're easy to knock out, and they're all in a row. They're all super small, and if you had 2 or even 3 side by side, you could just mow in a big straight line and knock them out in no time. So just because this is at a golf course doesn't mean I upcharge and try to screw people over. That's not how I run my business. And I'm not going to tell you guys how to run your business, but as you can, some of the leaves that came from their trees or whatever from the golf course itself. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend upcharging people just because you can, just because they have a nice house or whatever. But, you know, make do with what you got, you know, be thankful for what yards you have, and you never know, you know, you could take it for granted and lose a really good gig, and then you're like, dang, you know, what am I going to do without that? Hopefully you set up your business to, you know, function without some of your nicer accounts. You know, you should always be thinking forward the best you can. But anyways, enough of that. Let's pick up some rocks that fell into the edge, and we're going to go ahead and edge it. So the plan here kind of turned into, I brought the weed eater and edger because I didn't know the state of the lawn. Now what happened was, I did the fall cleanup, and she wanted me to return and do a second fall cleanup right before the holidays. But what happened was, I put my equipment away at the beginning of December because I was supposed to come back like maybe the end of November, like just after, you know, Thanksgiving. So right there towards the beginning of December, I went ahead and put my stuff up for storage, and she was like, man, did I miss my window? And even though I had a stabilizer in my mower, I was like, yeah, it had frosted by this point. I was like, yeah, it looks like we even have snow heading this way, so I'll get you taken care of in the spring, because she was already interested in the spring cleanup, so it ended up working out there. But and yes, I am edging along the golf cart path, so yeah, get on my level. But it worked out. She had me back, and she had another person mowing, and just said, hey, you know, you do the cleanups, they don't, you know, the mowing that I did on her lawn during the fall cleanup, she thought looked better than what she was getting, so she was on board with getting a mowing quote as well. Let's see if the grass maybe had gotten shaggy and stuff by the end of the year. Sure enough, it had. It looks like the fertilizing guys, the spraying company, it looks like they put down some pre-emergent or something. The lawn was fertilized. You'll see the flag throughout the video, but it was done almost a week ago, so it only takes 20. So I'll be basing my mowing schedule around those dates and times. So I decided, heck with it, let's go ahead and edge it. And you can tell it needed edged, and it needs trimmed in some spots as well. Unfortunately, the camera angle is not the best. And speaking of the camera, yeah, I did make a mistake. I did not check the GoPro before I started recording, and it was set to, I believe, 4:3. So all of the GoPro, like body cam footage, has been cropped, hence why it might look a little funny. But weed eating footage doesn't look very good on the chest cam because your head looks at the weed eater, not your chest. So I think it looks okay for what I had to do to make this footage pleasing to watch. But as you can see, I'm going along and picking up all the rocks that got kicked out through the winter. I'm sure many deer that crossed the golf course ran in the beds and kicked things out. And it just, you know, if I see it, do it. You know, you see a weed in the bed, pull it, you know. So you see rocks kicked out of the bed, you pick them up. That's a part of a spring cleanup service. And you can see the big patches of dirt along the bed liner, which is all just where the leaves were all caked up there through the winter and sat there and were wet. So this will all fill in nice and well as the season progresses, I'm sure. But you can see there's, you know, tufts of fertilized grass growing up in the brick there, and yeah, I'm glad I went ahead with the mowing service. Obviously the lawn is not greened up very much, and, you know, it hasn't thickened up either, so with a little time this place will be looking really good. Because we're out here on the golf course and this was our first really nice day to get out and do some work, there was a ton of golfers out, and there was a lot of very friendly people, and I met some people that kind of reminds you how small the world really is. It's like, hey, oh my gosh, I know you from this. But you can see there's some golf carts to the right of me, but nobody bothered me all day long, thankfully. I had some pleasant conversations, but sometimes you do get some stinkers that will come by, in any neighborhood and just kind of heckle you. I, being one person, generally don't get bothered too much. They just see a dude who's out cutting grass, not a whole bunch of people they can mess with. Here, it seems the rocks pushed out the landscaping, so now that I was done with everything else, I could go ahead and begin trying to fix this up the best I can. I did not install the landscaping, obviously, so I just shoveled everything back with my hand, and my weed eater just rolled away, which I'm trying to grab with my hand. But slap that back together, and yep, we're good to go. We can keep on moving, and they must have fell recently because you can see the grass is still green underneath. I was expecting there to be a patch of dirt, but anywho. Nobody really bothered me today, but you'll see later, I had some people that could care less that I was mowing and were maybe a little too close for comfort, but besides that, it was a really lovely 66, 68 degree day for early March, which is awesome. Generally, the last 2 or 3 years, my lawn care seasons have started kind of in, lawn care 25, not mowing season, but getting out and doing stuff has kind of started in the last week of February and really blown up in the first 2 weeks of March, where I'm doing mulch and this and that and trying to keep up with things before mowing begins. But this year we've had so much snow, and I'm sure many of you were affected by snow. We got a unbelievable amount than we're used to, so it stuck around, and the cold weather stuck around for a lot longer. But over the next couple of days, the temperatures are going to go back down into the 40s and 50s, 137 degree day or something. But right now, as I'm recording this the night that I did this cleanup, it was all rain on the forecast with the 50s and 60 degree weather, so it seems it's going to really boost the health of the grass and the outdoor plants. So it seems we are in line to be mowing by the end of the month, which is awesome. So usually in our area we're mowing by mid to late March for a majority of regular yards. So you can see I'm trying to get up under that lip of the liner and kick my blower out of the way because I almost ran it over a dozen times. And yep, trim along the driveway and wrap things up with that. Got to get around the tree too, of course. And here we go. This is the final pass with the walk behind, and as you can see, I'm going right along the golf path. No bagger. This is to suck up anything else down in the grass, mulch it up one last time, little bits and pieces, and this is me properly cutting the grass, quote unquote, because before I was just aiming for the leaves. Now we're looking at doing everything as a complete package. So this place looks gorgeous when it's all greened up for the year, so I can't wait to show it later in the season, hopefully, if I ever have a camera out here again. And I duck up around the front. I did not record the front final mow, but you can see somebody acknowledged me. The way the golf path is, they decided to pull up right next to where I'm working, and this is nothing bad on them. I was just kind of like, come on, man, I was here. But you can see I bumped the throttle down and let it rip. I don't know if they were like upset with me or anything. I hope not. I wasn't upset with them either, but it was a nice day. I just wish they would have pulled up to the neighboring house. There's a house on both sides of this one, so they could have pulled up before or after and walked over to their golf ball. But like I said, I'm not bothered if they're not bothered, and they didn't give me a hard time. And you see, I waited for him to move out of the way, dropped it, no grass going in the golf cart or anything. But my biggest piece of advice to people starting a business is
be very mindful of your surroundings, but don't let people generally stop you from doing your job, what you're there to do. These people, like I said, didn't bother me whatsoever, but let's say they were sitting there shrugging at me or trying to give me a hard time. You know what? I'm here being paid to do this at this time, and this is their home, you know, so I'm where I belong and they're where they belong. So, you know, at the end of the day, please, you know, be mindful and mind your own business while being mindful of others. Don't let them slow you down unless it's a circumstance where, you know, it makes sense. But generally, I must say, try to not be bothered by other people. Just do your job, you know, do what you're being paid to do. Anyways, I start going diagonal here to try to get some better quality lines. It didn't really work out that way because they were still in my way. Like I said, I wasn't bothered. I was just trying to make something look decent for the homeowner. So anyways, it shaped up to be okay, and I'm glad they weren't upset by my work. But yeah, that's just about it for the mowing side of things. I'm going to come back through and straighten this up one last time. But yeah, it was a really good day to get out and do this work, and I'm really glad I got to do a voiceover. This was really fun. So hopefully you guys maybe learned a little bit about my process and how I do things, but I'm not going to bug you anymore. So back to the real-time voiceover.
All right, just blew off. Everything is complete. Big pile of leaves right up against the porch, all blown out. It's never perfect when you do a spring cleanup or a fall cleanup, but almost every leaf is out of the bed. You know, I went over on the neighbor's side some to try to keep it from blowing back, but there's only so much you can do. I tried a video, but the golfers are always being golfers. But I got a moment. I come back here. You can kind of see. I tried to go diagonal with it on the second pass because I couldn't mow straight sideways with the golfers there. So when you pull up right in front of the house, they should just go over there. But you know, I'm not complaining really. Got that edged, and yeah, I'll change up the pattern every week. This will be my first year mowing this one, so I cleaned out the pampas as good as I could. Yeah, looks pretty okay. There it is. It looks pretty good for the most part. So yeah, that's gonna be about it. I don't know if I'm gonna film anything when I go to unload, but yeah, it was a pretty good day. It got really hot. I wish I could go fit one more in. I could, but there's just nothing really small enough. A lot of the projects I have are going to be pretty big. So anyways, yeah,